Hello everybody, hope you're doing really well. So today I'm doing the extremely long overdue caulking lime works, and it's a shame really because I had the opportunity to come here about 10 years ago at least now, and I'm sure that the condition is not going to be as good as it probably was even back then. But either way, we're here to document it as a historical record, and I want you to come along with me. So let's do it. So enjoy your history lesson, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye for now. Located in a beautiful part of West Sussex, forming part of the South Downs Way, lies the infamous abandoned Cocking Lime Works. The area had always been prime for lime works, with the earliest mention of chalk quarrying and lime working in and around Cocking dated as early as the mid-1700s, when it was noted that the Cowdrey estate referred to two isolated lime kilns being in use. But it was in the mid-19th century when the chalk pit on Cocking Hill was being used on more of an industrial scale, with the addition of more lime kilns being placed close to the pit. For the owners of the Cowdrey estate, this all seemed to be very profitable, and soon they would be leasing out the chalk pits and lime kilns to various contractors. Over the many years, as you can imagine, the site had seen many changes and was a great example of the way industry and technology had advanced. The most notable change that would be the start of what we see today came when, in 1906, the site was leased to Pepper & Sons from Amberley. And by 1914 they had built a 2-foot gauge tramway between the lower chalk pit and the lime kiln, making it easier for transportation of the chalk. The final phase of the lime works began in 1921 when it was leased out to Frederick Searle, and shortly afterwards to his brother Eli, who went into partnership with Robert Dunning, owner of the Midhurst Brickworks. And in 1926, the company now trading as the Midhurst Brick and Lime Company Limited was acquired by Benjamin Cloke for £6,000. And with this, significant changes had been made with the addition of more lime kilns and better equipment, which meant they could produce cleaner lime used for making their sand and lime bricks. The height of production on this site came when in 1955 it was noted that the chalk extraction had reached a peak of 36,000 tonnes. But as with all things, demand and cost proved too much, and the last owners would come to the site in 1993, when it was acquired by Dudman Group of companies, who owned it until 1999. Many stories have been told throughout the years on this site, from a tramp sleeping in one of the kilns through to an earthquake at the pit causing a rockfall to kill a workman. And with this video only scratching the surface, now it's left for nature and fellow explorers to video and take pictures, so that this place, no matter what, will never be forgotten. Well, so I'm going to sort of give you a brief guide on top of the history lesson, and yeah, we'll see what we can do. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that is really hazardous and dangerous, so we'll risk what we can. And yeah, I think it's on these ones that obviously over time it's just become more and more dangerous. So that's on me. That's my responsibility to decide what I want to do today on this. But let me show you. So we are, first off, we're standing behind me is what they call the intermediate crusher, or the immediate crusher, which then goes on the conveyor belt, which I'll take you to later, which goes to the primary crusher, and then as we look down, that is our kilns, and they are huge. I mean, they're absolutely massive. And like I said, I'll talk you around the rest of it as it goes round. It's literally within this vicinity, so really it's quite all clumped up together. But my God, like, the sound of this must have been intense. But yeah, let me show you the crusher first, I think. So as we walk in, that's a fuse box there for a power switch. 110 volt, that says on that. And there's obviously going to be bits that I'm going to be skipping, or not skipping, but like I said, don't want to make this video too unnecessarily long, because like I said, you've already had your history lesson, so really the primary thing now is to do what we've done at maybe like Snowdown Quarry, for example, where we just now talk about the layout of the structure. So yeah, should we do it? Let's go do it. Oh man, yeah, well, we knew they weren't going to be safe. These steps, Jesus Christ, am I just way too fat, really, am I? Yeah, there we go. So that's our conveyor belt, which then leads over, goes down to machinery. Now we'll have to go back down again so we can get a better look, but it's a lot of mechanical delvings and machinery that is it's seen way better days. But it's I mean, if you look down, you might think, oh, they look like pretty solid steps, but they're not. So yeah, right, anyway, let's go and take a look round. Come on. So yeah, we're inside. You know, it's strange to sort of think that, you know, like, what I'm so surprised at what's left here, really. More importantly, I'm still gutted that I could have come here a lot earlier, years and years ago, you know, but that's just life, isn't it? The point is, I am here now and I am amazed to see what is here. But yeah, so we're in the crusher, and like I said before, the primary crusher, which we will go to probably near the end of the video. We'll go back to that. Could have started with that, but I thought, actually, let's just see what the situation is first. And yeah, as we head down, everything you've got to treat as being fragile and brittle. It's very dangerous here, I'm not going to lie. It's dangerous because time and everything else is taking its toll. I mean, even the basic aspects of wooden steps just seem to be sort of dangerous. Start, stop, reset. Reverse, forward. I mean, the sound of what this would have been at the time must have been incredible, really. Really must have been such an incredible sound. On and off, huge switch there. Oh, bloody hell, it went up a little bit. Huh. Wow. Alan Weston Co from Brighton. I mean, we are in Sussex, so yeah, keeping it local for the conveyors. Conveyor 3, conveyor 1, conveyor 2 and reject. Look at that. I'm assuming there is one of our crushers. Wow. Huge industry. I think we're just going to have to accept today that, you know, the video is going to be slightly longer than normal, but it's important to document enough. I mean, there are hundreds of people who've done this before that have come here earlier that have probably been in better condition, but rather do it now than it go completely. So yeah, look at those conveyors. So what I'm hoping we're looking at there is we're looking at what would have been the screen plant in front of us. Let me get up and point it to you. So that's the screen plant, I'm assuming, going into the chalk store, which is there. Does that make sense? So that's our chalk store, that building there, and then this is, I would assume this is the screen plant. Right. The question is, should we go up that ladder? At risk of death, we might try it. Let's go. Right. It wouldn't be Phoenix history if we didn't know where the toilet was, or one of the toilets. And here we are. One of the old bogs, the WC. Tiny little thing, isn't it? Tiny little toilet. But that's what it's labelled as on the map. Oh dear. You've got to laugh. I mean, you know, of all the things that normally are in the best condition, normally they're the toilets. And you're like, why the hell would that be that way? So, we're now standing to the rear of the plant. And so, like I said, that's the crusher. Going into, that's the screen plant. And then the huge chalk store. So I'm not sure yet. Like I said, looking around to see the condition, not sure yet. So yeah, let's go through this way. I mean, wow, it's so compact and yet so big at the same time that it's crazy. And I mean, the most impressive thing is the kilns. I mean, they're huge. It's labelled as the South Kiln Battery, and it really is. If we just go to one, I mean, I'm glad that these still survive, but my God, that is a lot of brick and mortar. It really is a lot. I mean, it is such a huge solid structure. I think that's the thing, is that actually one of the main reasons why this still is here is because actually the condition of the buildings themselves, take away the ladders and all that sort of stuff, is extremely solid and well built, you know. I mean, these kilns are just a work of art, really. They really, really are. There's our lorry, which has seen better days, let's be honest. It's funny when you always if you type this place in on Google, you always get this lorry in there. It's almost like this sort of essential piece of history that is totally, I mean, my God, it's seen better days in many a time, but yeah, it's it's beautiful colours of the graffiti, but my God. Right, let's explore, and then what I might do is when I'm in the middle again, I might label it for you just to sort of show you what each building is, just so you get a better understanding of it. But let's take a look in here, come on. Right, so we're in what is labelled as the Calco Shed, and it is another sort of huge shed. There's a warning that says the roof is fragile, and it really is, but this links up to this kiln here, which is amazing to think that they even had a kiln within this. And it just proves the history of how important this is. We're technically, I suppose what we're looking at right now, that bit here, I'll show you this as well so we can label this, because it's in a couple of sections. So this would have been what they call the fitter's store. Let me get a little torch out for you lot. So this is the fitter's store. Obviously all the dead bodies are not. Sorry, I didn't bring a torch with me. But yeah, you get the idea. You can just about see stuff. It's just literally a concrete framed building. Yeah, crazy. Fitter's store. And then, like I said, it goes into the Calco Shed, what it's labelled as. And again, huge in design. Beautiful bit of graffiti, that's nice. Again, this whole area's seen way better days. And for the importance of how historical it is, it's such a shame, really. There's like what an old sort of fitting table there. Huge tyres. Now whether that's to do with the farmer or not, because that could still be part of the actual original industry. Sometimes you can get a bit confused by that, because farmers will use stuff for storage, but also this is also prime for other things. So amazing. Amazing storage shed. I want to go round in a minute, round the back, and then try and document a couple of other things. But yeah, it's all here. Right, on our continuation of labelling stuff, here we are. This was the offices. This is the office, and then that is the garage. So actually what we'll do is we'll walk up to the garage first, because it's just a garage. It should just be just an empty, hollow thing, yeah, which it is, with a triangular roof. So that's our garage, what was labelled as garage. And then when we come down here, this is our office. Our office is, actually, should I say. Let's see if there's any dead bodies in here. No dead bodies. Wow. Well, there's a lot of warning signs saying this is at risk of falling. I'm surprised with the severe weather that we've had that this is actually still here, to be honest. It's quite weird. You just see most of its vandalism. In fact, actually, the condition of this is probably mostly down to nature and just time. Fuses again, storage unit, shelves. My infamous PTSD wooden floorboard, which I freaking hate. This is the first time to the channel. You'll know that, well, you won't know, sorry, that actually the only major accident I've ever had was actually due to wooden floorboards, where I basically just put my foot through and couldn't get it out. And I was on my own because I normally do stuff on my own, and this was going back in my early exploring days, so we're talking about 20 years ago now. Probably about 20 years ago. And yeah, it was a wooden floorboard exactly like that. Completely nonchalantly, just put my foot through it, and for whatever reason, I think it was also because I was sort of panicking at the time. Couldn't get my foot out, and I was all on my own. Eventually I did, obviously, and I've still got both my legs. But yeah, does give me a bit of PTSD. There we go. I'm assuming they're water units, boilers, or water tanks. I'm assuming. Did we look in that? Is that another? We didn't, did we? No. This must be the outhouse toilet. I'm assuming. Yeah. I'd guess that this is the outhouse toilet. Yeah, you can see that there was like a little U-bend pipe. You know what I mean? Yeah. Again, time has seen this in a not a good way. Right. I want to head up now to behind the kilns. So let's do that. Right. Wow. Trying to kill myself. Basically what's happened was I was going to film me walking across there, and then I'll show you. Well, I'm not. I'll show you. Basically what happened was you get to a certain point, and then there are the biggest holes and cracks in that whole of that site, and you think to yourself, oh yeah, okay, maybe not today, son. The rust and everything's got the better of this place, it really has. It is just it's a sight out of just pure scariness, really, if you want to sort of know what you're treading in. Everything filled that, but yeah, walking along, and it didn't felt pretty okay, and then all of a sudden I just noticed there was these huge holes that started opening up underneath, and there were these. So you see the gaps in there already. I'll try and show you in here. So I'm walking along, and yeah, I mean at the moment it feels stable, but I was just about to climb under that tree, and I noticed that there was a lot of raised platform area bits, and I was like, do you know what, I think I better head back. And so I did. I'm obviously on the other side of it now, but I thought, no, not today, mate. Oh crap, okay. Like this. Oh, sorry, look. Can you see that? Oh. Yeah, not good. Oh. Not good at all. I think you just got to say to yourself sometimes, I've walked across it we've had a nice little look, but there's only so many lives that I can have, and I'm no cat by any means, and God forbid if I fell through one of those, that's game over. So if not me, it would probably be someone else, and I'd hate to see that happen. Alright, okay, so I think we've pretty much documented everything to a certain degree except for the primary crusher, so we'll have a look at that now. Let's go. Right, okay. Well, I'm technically back to where I started, but I will need to go back down again, I think, although I've labelled stuff, so I'm not sure. So this is the primary crusher anyway, and it's on the mechanical. Oh no, because I haven't gone in that other shed. I've just realised. No, we will have to go back down. So this is all the gubbins for the crusher. Gubbins, load. That's it. Load and line. Amazing. Sometimes the graffiti just makes me laugh. It's amazing, really. Wow. Load and line. They're in Sussex. Oh dear. Right, okay, just going to figure out, I want to get to the top, so I might go round. But before I do that, I think it's good to sort of show you the conveyor belt. So, let's show you this. Got our conveyor belt here. Well, that's nice, there's a bit of wind, it's so boiling today. And there's our, look at that. It's huge. Right, okay. So I'm going to have to figure out how to get up there, so bear with me and let's have a look. Bloody hell, that was harder than it needed to be. But right, so this is the beast. The crusher, the primary crusher. Amazing. Look at the teeth on that. See if I can get round. It says sudden drop, which it is. So, there you go. Quite impressed somebody actually managed to get down there. Somebody doesn't like Chloe, maybe. This is you, Chloe. Assuming she's going to get crushed. The size of that's impressive, isn't it? It does say warning sudden drop on it, which it really is. But wow. Whew. So we've got one more building to check out, technically. And that's pretty much it. Obviously I know that the actual chalk and everything working is behind us. It's sort of that direction. In fact, there is I think there's a mechanical scoop up there. So if I don't record that, don't hate me for that. It's just that we'll see how the rest of this goes, really, because I've got to go all the way back down. That was my stupid fault. I got distracted by the kilns and everything else, really. So yeah, forgive me on that one. Right, so this is the final building. This is the powdered chalk store, and looks like there's some left over. So they'd crush it all up, and then they'd store it in here. And yeah, it's huge. I mean, obviously for the size of the shed, you can imagine that this would have been piled to the masses full of chalk. There's a conveyor up there as well, if you can see that. It's obviously coming from the primary crusher, being fed down into the intermediate one, and then coming into this. And by that point, it would have been a fine powder that would have dropped over, and then you've got a gantry there which I'm assuming was for monitoring it, because I'm assuming there's a conveyor that goes across there as well, so it goes in a L bend. But I reckon, do you know what I reckon that's for? It's for piling it on this bit, and then what they do is they might open that up and then drop it down here. Otherwise it'd all end up in one spot, and then they'd have to shuffle it across. But yeah, that's all the building's done really. So it's amazing. I'm amazed that the roof's still here, to be honest with you. I've seen worse condition buildings than this, and I'm so impressed by this, that it's still here. I think actually if you go around you can actually see that there was a ladder that was there, but so like I said, so it's gone into the big crusher, and what that would have been from where they'd mined the chalk at the top. So they're coming all the way from that pit, bringing it down, and then obviously then it's being piled up, going into that primary crusher, which is the big crusher that you could see, gets mixed into the intermediate one on a conveyor belt, gets come through here, and then eventually it just sort of drops down. So it's yeah, it's impressive. And then obviously looking out, you've got the office, the garage, the kiln, the Calco Shed. Yeah, it's amazing how it's all still here, just in total different conditions on each bit. So I might take another look round and just sort of see what else we can look at really, but I don't think there's much else really. But yeah, that's it. Amazing. Right, so I just want to point out that you can, well, I wouldn't recommend it, but you can climb up to that gantry between the chalk shed, but that's wobbly, and those steps, I ain't trusting them for nothing. And also, if I stand up on that, I don't even think I can get my leg up to go around there, so no chance. But you know, I thought I'd point that out to you. That's quite impressive to do that one-handed. Oh wow, there's a ladder there. Oh my god, I can't. Wow, look at that. Everything is just so fragile around here. So I'm holding on for dear life on this beam because I'm on powdered chalk and I'm sliding, as you can imagine. Good job it wasn't a wet day. It'd be sludge. Anyway, down we go. So my hands are covered in chalk, as you can probably guess now. It smells nice though. I love the smell of chalk in the mornings. Powdered chalk. I should feel like I should be going boxing now, or lifting weights. So again, we're standing at the kilns here. You can potentially go onto that second level, but this is what I was sort of saying about, you've got to understand this, is that you can climb up to the top, which is where I was, and then like I said, about halfway, well actually it wasn't halfway through, I know exactly where I was, because I was just about to put my camera down and start doing one of them tracking shots. It was there. I noticed that whole ringside was a load of holes in it, and it started to bounce a little bit. I was like, best not. What I should have done actually is looked at it from the underneath first to see where it was mostly stable, but you can never be too sure, can you? But if, long story short, is if I'd fallen, I would have fallen on straight down into the second stage, probably just wrapped my head around one of those beams that's there, and then dropped again. Not good. And like I said, I'm sure a few of you have done it, but for me, sometimes you just get a bit of an instinct on it. You just say to yourself, no. Let's have a look in this building here, which is part of the kiln. I'm assuming this is just another kiln. It was, yeah. I didn't actually see that. We'll have a look at this one because we haven't actually looked inside. We've only looked inside one. Now this is a trap, so I don't. This must be an outpouring of the slurry from it. It's turning it into lime. So actually that's what you're seeing. So in other words, if you've got a kettle, that's going to look really familiar to you. That sort of lime scale. Literally what it is. And then, yeah, flicks up for the forks. I just want to take a look here. There's only a couple more things that I really want to try and do. I was debating whether to go up to the actual quarry pit itself, but I just don't really feel it's worth it to highlight the fact that it's here. Everything everybody knows. Yeah, look. It's that conveyor with the crusher that's there. Ooh. Exciting. Yes, I think we've pretty much labelled everything, really, haven't we? This way up. I didn't actually notice that bit of graffiti. And then this is the dividing wall. If I walk round, you can see those steps. I mean, that's fair play to anybody who managed to climb them in that condition, I want to point out. But I think what's happened is, let me just go through, is that what's happened is somebody blatantly removed most of those steps, so it's made it really difficult for anybody to climb up. And I'm sure it's still solid enough, but my god, yeah, I don't think I can trust myself on my own. This is what I said before, is that I'm on my own. If I have an accident, what am I going to do? Just hope that someone's around that they can rescue me. Well, okay, maybe. But yeah, not cool. Anyway, onwards. Hi, I'm baking. Right, to compensate for this, there is a stairs that descend up to and looking over at that crusher. Now, at the time of recording, no, basically, it's stable up to a point, and then I was like, okay. So I was like, but then when you get up to the plateau bit, yeah, I was just like, actually, this isn't worth it. So, to compensate for that, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look under the conveyor. Because I'm not sure many people have done this. If they have, fair play. There are a couple of switches there. Emergency switches, I'm assuming. Let's go. Right, will I need my torch? I think I will, but I say torch because I don't actually have it on me. And I'm squatting. That is quality gold right now. I feel like a freaking hobbit. There we go. So let's get right to the back. Oh my god. Is that a light? It is. Oh my word. Okay. So you've got the feeder dropping into that, and then the conveyor belt. Oh my word. This is. Oh. Okay. Oh, you got that coming. Jeez, sorry about that. Coming into there, and then we'll follow the conveyor belt back. Good God. Oh. Yeah, I'm broken, mate. I am broken. I am broken so badly. Yeah, oh, freaking hell. Oh my God. Why? Why? So, as I stand here to end the video on the kilns, on this extremely wobbly footprint here, I just want to say thank you so much for coming along with me. The only thing that I was disappointed about not doing was climbing that ladder. I mean, at the time of this recording it was stable, however it just went on to one plateau, so was it worth it? Don't really know on that one. However, not the important thing. The most important thing is that I'm still here to tell the tale, even though I'm currently standing on this extremely dodgy bit of sheeting. Feel free to spread the word of the channel. Much love to all of you out there. Thank you so much for coming along with me, being patient and showing love and kindness. Take care, and yeah, because history matters, and it really does, doesn't it? Glad I got to tick this one off the list. And that's about it. See you all very soon. Take care now. Bye.